are your hosts, Hank Davis and Mello Betts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Mello's NFL Weekly. I'm your host, former professional athlete Hank Davis. This is week 5 of season 7, and you're tuned in to Tiger Prince Entertainment. Joining me on the line, he's our resident professor of sports, and he's the gambling guru. He's Mello Betts. How are you, buddy?
I'm living high in the hog, baby.
You're in Arkansas, then.
Arkansas.
Remember the hogs? The Redskins used to have the hogs.
Oh, I love those guys with their big snouts. Yeah.
Now what do they have now?
Sows?
The Greyhounds. It was a bunch of skinny guys on both sides of the ball.
They have brooder hogs now. They're a little smaller.
And about 1% of the audience got that reference. All right. Mello, are you ready to jump into the news?
Let's jump out in it, on it, around it, whatever.
It's time for the news, a roundup of all the biggest headlines.
All right. Not too much in the news this week that we're going to discuss since, most topics get beat to death by national media. But a few things, and then we're going to have an unbelievable That's Not Football. Guaranteed. Or your money back. The NFL is reviewing comments made by Tennessee Titans defensive coordinator Jerry Gray, in which he said his players need to perform with a reckless abandon and not fret about consequences. If you are worrying about that, you are not going to go out and try and blow the guy up, Gray told the Tennessean on Thursday. Great football players have to put that out of their mind. You have to say, this is my territory between the numbers. And if you throw the football, you better bring the Gator truck, which is the little cart that hauls people off.
Oh.
And that's how you have to play. You can't play timid in the NFL. Now, let's discuss this. Number one, was he wrong for making this kind of a statement publicly?
Publicly, yes.
Okay. And why do you think so?
Because it puts your players under on the radar now for any hits for this game. That automatically draws attention to the game, and the referees, everybody knows about it, so they'll be watching closely to see if these guys are laying them out like you want them to.
And then if something happens, something actually transpires during the game, do you think the fine will be even more magnified due to this prior kind of statement?
With this commissioner, yeah, I would say so.
So instead of saying, it's a $20,000 fine, it could be 60 or 50 or 60,000.
Yeah, I mean, you've fallen into that premeditated. You're dealing with a bunch of lawyers here. You fall into that premeditated category, and that's exactly what could happen.
Mello, I want you to play football violently, but be safe.
Do my best.
But how many of these coordinators do you think are going to have to learn the hard way before these guys just stop saying this stuff publicly like this?
I was shocked when I heard this one come down the wire. I was shocked and amazed that he would publicly say something like this. I mean, you're just asking for trouble. This is stuff that belongs behind closed doors, really.
Yeah, why would you be talking to a newspaper? This guy is going to go print this and tell everybody.
Yeah, you're basically saying, nah.
Yeah, yes. Bring the Gator truck. I don't know if anybody up north refers to it as the Gator truck.
Well, and there's when you talk about carting off, I mean, there's no other way for people to look at that when you make a comment like that, bring the Gator truck. They don't bring it out there for Gatorade, okay?
Bring the truck, because they're going to be so tired that they're... No.
Yeah.
New York Giants veteran defensive end O.C. Umenyiora issued a challenge to confident Cleveland Browns running back Trent Richardson. If Trent looks at the tape and he thinks he sees some candy, come try and get it, Umenyiora said Friday. Umenyiора's challenge came in response to comments Richardson made earlier in the week. I think that if we cover the edges and run hard, No doing all that juking in that. One move and go. I think we can have success in the running game, Richardson said. Now, remember, the Giants are ranked 22nd in the NFLs for rushing defense, allowing 118.3 yards per game. Mello, is Trent just pointing out something that's fair, or should he shut up?
I think he's just pointing out something that's fair. I mean, he's saying what the strategy is, but I mean, he is the statesman these days, especially when it's against little guys. He likes to speak up now.
Yes, and they need to worry about winning more so than all this trash talk, I think.
Yeah,
and
that should be secondary.
Is it because New York is a media hub? Is that why we hear so many stories about the Giants and the Jets?
I think so. I think that's, you got it exactly right with that media hub business, and they'll recycle the same old stories, But there's always just a little hint of something going on, but that's all it takes. They fan the flames until they could get something, try to get a fire started.
Yeah, because it just seems like more often than not, we're talking about one of those two teams in conjunction with another team. You don't really hear, you hear other things around the league, but it just seems like they must have microphones in their mouth, shoved down their gullet 24/7.
Sure seems like it, because there's always something coming out of there.
Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman regularly defend Tony Romo, making it seem like there's a brotherhood among Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks. But the wide receiver position doesn't share that same brotherhood when it comes to Drew Pearson and Dez Bryant. Pearson had been critical of Bryant through his first 2 years, and the third year doesn't seem to be any different. So this stems from Bryant wearing the same number jersey, 88, that Pearson did during his 11 seasons with the franchise. Pearson said he's not living up to the expectations that were placed on him by wearing that number. All right, Mello, should the old-timers be coming back and chiming in so frequently as we report so often on this show?
It seems to be what they do best, isn't it? I mean, after you've put up your numbers and stuff, you get to sit back and criticize and tell everybody else what they're supposed to be doing. So I guess that they ain't got nothing better to do, so I guess that's why they do it.
So I'm just sometimes I'm a little concerned with these with these comments that come through, because you're just like, wait a minute here, does he deserve some of this heat? Probably, but on the other hand, maybe you should leave it alone and try to let him find his own way through his career.
Yeah, nobody would mind if you guys shut up. No, I'm actually with those guys on that, because this is his third season, and for what a talent, what is he doing?
He's not doing much, and what do you think is causing that? Is it all the off the field stuff?
I think it is.
That's pulling him down, because if I could make a comparison right now, he is Roy Williams II to me, because he has all this ability. He has the size, the speed, everything, all the intangibles, and just doesn't do it.
I know. You just wonder. It's not like you're, in an environment of a bunch of losers. They got a lot of talent on that team. Just wonder why they're constantly, well, I guess I don't wonder when I think about who's running the show there. But, the meddling owners, I'm sure that doesn't help. They need to be a professional organization and not whatever it is they're being.
So is Jerry Jones, is he now moved into first place since Al Davis is no longer with us?
Yeah, he actually is. And I was listening to somebody the other day that if you look at all the facets of that organization and stuff, there's one thing holding them back, and that's this: I'm the owner, I'm the GM, I'm the coach, by de facto, actually, really.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't work. It's been proven, tried and true, that system does not work.
It's often pretty funny when you see former Cowboy coaches come out and they'll have their shirt off, and you can see in their back where they've been stitched up where the hand was placed inside their back. Ugh. Just like a puppet. Ooh, sorry.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on that last comment. Automatic first down.
My bad.
Okay, I expect that out of a Raider, though, to give him yardage. Give him free yardage. Here, now it's my lion time to do something here. I'll make the next one.
Nice. All right, are you ready to switch to That's Not Football?
Okay.
A photo of Michael Vick that he shared via Twitter on Thursday caused speculation that he may have a new dog. Vick tweeted a photo of himself and his daughter doing work at a table inside their home. Someone with eagle eyes noticed that in the top right part of the photo, there was a box of open milk bones, which is a dog treat. According to reports, Vic quickly deleted that photo and reposted another one using the same words on his tweet. Only the milk bone box was no longer in the shot. Mello?
That's not, nothing to do with that is not football.
There have been many calls for Tim Tebow to supplant Mark Sanchez as the Jets' starting QB in light of the offense's stagnant start. While many feel that the change to Tebow could spark the offense, sports bettors consider the two quarterbacks equal. The Jets' Monday night game against the Texans would carry the same point spread regardless of whether Sanchez or Tim Tebow start. Mello?
That's not football.
The Eagles have one of the best starting cornerback duos in the NFL with Nnamdi Asomugha and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. However, rookie Brandon Boykin does not carry the same reputation as his teammates, which is why Steelers receiver Antonio Brown recently referred to him as the candy bar. That's the candy bar. He's given up a lot of plays. Whoever gets that guy definitely has to take advantage and get some candy. Mello?
That's not football.
Oh, my goodness. Rob, Dan, and Chris Gronkowski all play in the NFL. Since all three are on offense, they rarely get a chance to line up against each other. Chris, the Broncos fullback, is hoping that all changes on Sunday. It's going to be crazy when we finally step on the field. I might get a chance to go against him on a kickoff. We're probably not even going to have the chance to block each other, but I'll still try to light him up if I get a chance. Mello?
That's not football.
CBS showed Patriots QB Tom Brady on the sidelines with an angry look on his face saying, F you bees, if you guys can figure that out. I think it was kind of directed towards me and Deion Branch a little bit, Wes Welker said. We were giving him a hard time that his knee was down and we didn't know what he was doing on the bench. He better get his butt up and get back on the field because his knee was down. And so he's like, what are you guys talking about? I was in. And when the replay came up, that's when cameras caught him saying, F you, bees. Mello?
That's not football.
And lastly, after a decade of wearing Reebok-made jerseys, the league switched to Nike's body-contoured fit models. Now, NFL linemen are complaining that they make them look plus-sized. I hate them. They are built for thin guys, said Alex Boone. He's a 300-pound guard for the San Francisco 49ers. It makes me look like I have big old love handles. Mello?
That's not football. Look, plus sizes, they are plus sizes.
Do I look fat in this uniform?
With or without the uniform, baby.
Hey, move the Subway sandwich from your freaking cake hole. Awesome. Oh, my goodness. I have one in Shut Up, Mello. Shall we move to Shut Up?
Okay.
Shut up!
Okay. All right. Tony Romo is easily one of the most inconsistent quarterbacks in football. Former NFL quarterback great Joe Theismann said we all just need to accept that Romo isn't any good.
Whoa.
And I think that's a little bit of a bias coming from a former Redskin talking about a Cowboy quarterback. So, Joe, I'm sorry.
Shut up!
Sorry about that, but I think he deserves that, Mello. I don't know if that was, on his part a little too harsh, but it just seems like it's over the top.
Wow.
All right, it's on to the rap sheet because, folks, NFL players, they have so much money, they just love giving it back to the NFL.
Calling all cars, calling all cars. Be advised, we have NFL players on the loose.
Former NFL running back Larry Johnson was arrested early Friday at a Las Vegas strip resort after an ex-girlfriend told police he choked her into unconsciousness and left her in her underwear in a hotel hallway. Larry Alfonso Johnson Jr., was being held on $15,000 bail at the Clark County Jail pending an initial court appearance on a domestic violence strangulation charge that could get him a minimum 2 years in prison if he's convicted.
Who hasn't done that before?
Hopefully 100% of the audience raises their hands and said they have never done that. The Denver Broncos will be without linebacker DJ Williams until mid-November after the NFL added 3 games to his suspension Friday. Williams was punished for violating the league's substance abuse policy following his conviction in August of driving while impaired.
Nice going, DJ.
Smart. That's just not schmat. Minnesota Vikings linebacker Chad Greenway has been fined $21,000 by the NFL for unnecessary roughness. New England Patriots linebacker Brandon Spikes also was fined $21,000 for unnecessary roughness. Saints safety Malcolm Jenkins, Packers nose tackle B.J. Raji were fined $7,875 for unnecessary roughness. Mello, I'm gonna ask you to do something I've never asked you to do.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna have to give a standing ovation for this last one I'm gonna read off.
Okay.
Cardinals place kicker Jay Feely was docked $7,875 for unnecessary roughness. Feely struck a Miami player late during a kickoff return. Mello, I think that deserves the first ever standing ovation, standing belly clap ovation if you're watching on video.
I'd say so.
Yep, he blew him up.
Good deal.
Excellent. I love it when a kicker actually has the nerve to light somebody up and get fined. I mean, you're going to go down in history in your organization.
No doubt. I mean, you are a football player. I mean, they categorize them as just kickers, but you still fall under the term football player, so that's all right.
Sometimes they call him our idiot kicker, too. Sometimes they call him
I think I've heard that one before.
Mello, are you ready to pick every game against the spread?
Oh, I thought we were picking every other game. Hold on a minute.
Nope. Wayne says it's go time.
Let's go
it's
then.
It's time to pick 'em. Remember, picks are made for entertainment purposes only.
And I just happen to make money off of my entertainment. Kidding. Jokes. Jokes, my friends, jokes. All right, let's start this out, Mello. Atlanta, the Falcons are going to lay 3 points on the road as they square off with the Washington Redskins. Mello, I'm taking Atlanta minus the 3. Even though they're on the road, I think they're going to get this done and take care of business. Who you taking?
Yeah, Washington wins, every other week? So, yeah, I got Atlanta on this one.
Nice. At Pittsburgh, the Steelers are going to lay 3.5 to the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. This game, I really don't know what to make of this game, to be honest with you. I'm sure Pittsburgh could light these guys up. I'm sure Philly could light these guys up. I'm sure it could be a 1-point game. I don't know. I have no idea, so I'm going to just take the team that's getting the points. So give me Philly getting the 3.5. Who you got?
I am not in love with Philadelphia. Have not been in love with them. Will not be in love with them anytime soon. the Battle of Pennsylvania, I will take the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nice. Nice. All right. Green Bay is going to lay 7 on the road at Indianapolis. Man, I'm waiting for Green Bay to light somebody up, and I think it's going to happen this week. I think they'll beat them up and be able to confuse Luck enough to get the W by more than 7. Give me Green Bay. I think they're going to really do something this weekend. Who you got?
Yeah, Green Bay's they're picking up a good head of steam here. I don't see how Indy slows them down. I don't think that the home field advantage is going to kick in on this one, baby. Give me Green Bay.
At the New York Football Giants, they're going to lay 8.5 points to the visiting Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's looking for candy, Mello. They're looking for candy. But I don't know what to make of this game, to be honest with you. The Giants really, to me, aren't a team that I want to take covering 8.5, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm just crazy like a fox. Who you got, Mello?
I'm taking Cleveland because, like you said, the Giants aren't a team that I want to take to cover big points. I think this is a ugly, brutal, probably game to have to watch, so I won't be tuning in, but I will be checking the ticker. I think Cleveland stays within the 8.5.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
All right.
There were worms.
At Minnesota, the rolling Vikings are going to lay 5.5 to the Tennessee Titans. This should be an interesting game here. I'm really not sold on either of these teams. You know, we've seen Tennessee pull out every trick in the book to beat the Detroit Lions a couple weeks ago. And Minnesota, they've been rolling right along now. So it's hard to say, but I'm going to stick my neck out and take Minnesota on this crazy cover. Who you got?
Yeah, I got Minnesota. Too many question marks for Tennessee. Is Locker out? I mean,
I think he's out.
What is Hasselbeck looking like? I have no intel on them. All I know is Minnesota's a hard place to play at, and Tennessee is not a good team. So I'm going to take Minnesota to cover.
You play to win the game.
Yeah.
Okay. At Cincinnati, the Bungles are going to lay 3.5 to the Miami Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins. This is my upset special. I'm taking the Dolphins to get this one done. Who you got?
Maybe I'm, setting into my old prejudice ways, but I can't take Miami, even though the hook is there and they can win this game. I'm going to roll with Cincy. There's a couple teams that I don't have faith in, and they're back-to-back. Miami and this next team.
Nice. Baltimore. The Ravens are going to lay 6 at Kansas City, who Mello alluded to. I'm going to take the Ravens laying 6 because I would rather go down in flames trying to cover than desperately be on my knees praying that Kansas City's going to score enough points to stay in the game. Who you taking, Mello?
My AFC West contact referred to Matt Castle as the turnover machine that is Matt Castle. So for that reason alone, I'll take Baltimore. Even though this time of year Kansas City is supposed to be tough at home, but I picked them to do well, and I just don't see it. So I'm bailing out on that pick. I am not taking Kansas City. They suck.
Historically, only historically are they supposed to. Not this year. At Carolina, the Panthers are going to lay 3 points to the feisty Seattle Seahawks. I'm just not going to take a cat team to cover, Mello. I'm taking Seattle getting the 3 points. I think these guys are going to take a little cat nap and be out of the game before you know it. No, this should be a really close, really good game. And maybe some refs, you do a little cooking for Seattle. You never know. Who are you taking?
With all the technology and formulas we use, I'm going to stick with you and not take a cat team to cover. Give me Seattle plus the 3.
Those guys with the cat on their helmet, don't take them.
Don't do it.
Never take any of them to cover. Oh, I love it. Chicago, the Bears They're going to lay 5 points at Jacksonville. And I remind you, it's at Jacksonville. Give me
5 people in attendance.
give me Chicago. Chicago will have more 12th men they'll have more 12th beers than there'll be 12th men in the stadium for Jacksonville. So give me Chicago. Who you got?
Not taking a cat team, that's for sure. Give me Chicago.
Nice. At New England, it's going to be the Patriots laying 6.5 to the Denver Broncos. Is this their week not to play well? Mello, is this
every other?
Is this their week not to play too well, Denver? Okay, so I'm going to take the Patriots. Denver's going to be making that jaunt from west to east. Plus, Brady wants to put it in their face. Denver at home, it would be a different story for me. But this travel, I'm starting to think there honestly could be something to it. So give me the Patriots minus the 6.5, and we'll see if they try to keep Manning in the game due to contractual agreements or not. Who are you taking?
I'm betting on that Denver defense to keep this one close enough. 6.5, and plus you can't, the way teams just let other teams come right back in. I am just not sure if New England gets up that they're going to hold on or really keep the pressure on them. And Denver, with the way the rules are, you just start chucking that ball around, you can pass interference your way all the way down the field. So that's too many points for me. I'm going to take Denver in the points.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
What are you, boxers?
That's assault. All right, at San Francisco, the 49ers are going to lay 9.5. Get it? To the visiting Buffalo Bills. I'm taking Buffalo getting that 9.5. I think this will be a little better game than the experts suggest. Give me Buffalo. Who are you taking?
Buffalo lets me down so much that I'm trying to keep my bitterness out of this, but it is really hard to do. I'm going to take San Francisco to cover the big number, which is, me, that's not something I want to do, but Buffalo really kicked me in the you-know-wheres last week.
The shin, right?
Shin, yeah.
Shin.
Didn't have my shin guards on.
Yeah, exactly. At New Orleans. Wait, am I reading this right? At New Orleans, the Saints are going to lay 3.5 to the visiting Chargers?
Looking for their first win.
Is that it? Okay. I gotta go crazy on this one. I'm doing it. I'm taking the Saints. All logic defied. I'm taking the Saints to cover the 3.5 against the visiting Chargers. Let's see if the Saints can get on the board with a win. Everybody gets ribbons. Mello, who you taking?
As much as I love Drew Brees, I am sorry. I don't think they win this game. I got San Diego winning this game.
Do they win a game this season?
I got to look at their schedule because they have got to win a game. But I am sorry. I am not having, for as much mouth running and all that stuff that they did and stuff. Hey, I don't feel bad for these guys at all that they haven't got a win yet. I think it's too bad, but that whole thing with not listening to your owner when he told you to shut it down, that just stuck in my craw.
Okay. And lastly, the Monday night game, Mello. It's going to be Houston Texans and their barbecue sauce on the road. They're going to lay 8 points at the New York Jets. And the New York Jets owner said that he's more concerned about Mitt Romney winning his election than the Jets winning it all. So
that's not going to happen.
If the Jets had trouble with the 49ers defense, what do you think Houston's defense is going to try to do to them?
That's a problem. Houston, we have a problem with your defense.
Did you see how big those guys are?
You guys are big and nasty.
You can see Tebow and Sanchez on the sideline at the same time looking at each other like, no, you go in there. No, you go in. No,
on the sideline with those ice packs on their heads.
Get the Gator truck. Now, I'm taking Houston laying the 8. I think the Jets should bounce back, but they're a team that's just coming unraveled. They're unraveling at the seam. This is it for these guys. If they lose this game, I think they're in big, big trouble, and I think there will be a regime change at the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
So give me Houston. Who you taking, brother?
Well, this is kind of a no-brainer. I'm 4-0 with Houston. They've covered every week. I told you last week, stick with Houston until I tell you otherwise. I don't even look at the point spread at this point. 8 seems like a lot. No, what are we going to do? But when Houston gets their hands on you, you just can't get free. So I got Houston to cover the 8, and they're my team so far this year. They are the cover team, so I'm just going to stick with them. The play here is to play them the whole season at this rate.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the picks against the spread. Mello, any final thoughts before we go off the air?
One story, and then let me throw a few numbers here at you. Home teams last week, combined 3-12. That's not good. They're 9 games under 500. Home favorites are at this point, so you better watch yourself on that. And the road teams tore them up again. Road favorites, road dogs combined for 12-3 last week.
Wow.
My best bets were 2-1. Big spreads were 0-3 last week, making big spreads 3-6-2 on the season. So all they're doing is playing you with this fall in love with the home favorites and stuff, and then you're getting your head ripped off. So you might want to rethink things. I took a lot of road dogs this week. Road dogs last week, 9-2.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're 9 games over 500 at this point. But road favorites are 4 games under 500 at this point. So the only strong plays I'm seeing on the board so far are road dogs and home dogs, meaning that the underdogs are still the better bet overall if you're playing all games.
So are you telling me that my picking style is flawed when I let my 2-year-old great-nephew point at the color scheme? Take the blue ones.
Hank, the way you've been picking, that's probably the better thing to do. Let the child in there. I have this for you. I'm watching the Sunday night game. You know I'm partial, no matter what time I have to get up on Monday morning, I'm partial to seeing that Sunday night game all the way through. Billy Cundiff, who everyone remembers for Baltimore last year, missed their field goal that would have sent them into the Super Bowl and stuff. I swear to you, and I cannot believe that anybody else has said anything about this. He kicked that game winner, and I said, good for you. So he's celebrating like he's won everything. When he came out for the kickoff, I swear to you, it looked as though he had been crying.
Oh, my goodness.
His face was red underneath his eyes, and it looked as though he had been crying.
Oh.
And we know there is no crying in football, baby.
Okay, Mr. Cundiff.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on that last comment. Automatic first down.
Oh, my goodness.
I cannot believe nobody else has said anything about that.
It was week 4, and he was
he was so excited over kicking that. I mean, it was like, that doesn't make up for what you didn't do last year, buddy. I know you feel better about yourself after doing that, but I swear to you, it looked as though he had been crying. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
Nice. Oh, my goodness. Great observation, Mello. Anything else?
That's all I got, baby.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Mello's NFL Weekly. Be sure to tune in to our show every week, every Saturday, from now until the rest of the season. Or else you're not getting anything for Christmas. That's a true story. But for Mello Betts, I'm Hank Davis. Until next time, we're signing off.